Okay guys, so I found an extension cord and I decided to plug this baby in. This is the electric impact gun. It's got a different sound than the other one because it uses an electric motor. So it's got a little more torque. So I'm going to try, at least I think it's got a little more torque. It should have. I'm going to try and see if that'll take the lug nut off. And I'll set the other gun aside for the moment. And if this does a better job, then I'll continue to use this throughout instead of the air. That way we don't get the noise of the compressor running all the time or periodically. Okay, now I still have the non-impact socket on there, which is not a good idea. So what I'm going to do, I don't know where my safety glasses are. I'm going to put on my regular glasses and I'm going to put my sunglasses over top for double protection. So that should do it. So that's proof right there that the electronic impact gun has a whole lot more power, or a bit more power, enough to take that other lug nut off. So let's put away a few glasses here. Alright, so now the wheel is loose. You guys can see she's all the lug nuts are off, and she's ready to come off of there. So I'll just put you guys down here where you can see. Get you adjusted a little bit. No, you ain't got wheel off of there. Okay, so wheel's coming off. Oops. Okay, so I was thinking earlier when I had this out for a drive that we didn't have much tread on the tires. That's why the front end was sliding, but that's not the case. There's pretty damn good tread on this tire here anyway. That's pretty good. There's about a 1/4 inch almost. So that tire should definitely not slide too much. It's quite possible that the front end's just out of alignment because of that ball joint. So we're going to fix that by replacing the ball joint. It'll still be out of line a little bit, but it'll be a lot closer. That should help. This car is pretty light. It seemed to slide pretty easy on the front end anyway. And a little bit of slush and snow on the road. I guess that's probably going to make a difference too. Okay, so let's take a look in here and see what we got. Alright. So what we got here, I wish I could find a good spot for my light. Let's see. That's the trouble with the trouble light. That's why they call it the trouble light, maybe. Because sometimes it's hard to find a spot. A good spot. Alright. So this is your brake rotor right here. This piece, it's a disc that turns. It's got the studs in it for your wheel to hold your wheel on. Wheel bearings in here. Goes over the spindle that allows everything to turn, stay stabilized so that your wheel will turn. I can turn it by hand. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes they're a little tight. Here is what's known as your brake caliper, and it controls your brake pads, which are hard to see. They're in here, and what this does is pinches the brake pads against this disc to give you your braking. Of course, you get that on all 4 wheels, so you got 4-wheel braking. So what we want is the ball joint. And the ball joint is buried a little bit. The ball joint is back in here. And I'll try to see if I can get you guys in there where you can see that. The ball joint is back in behind. And it's right. It's this unit here. It's a stud, comes right up through. You probably can't see that, but there's a stud that comes right up through. Let's see if we can put our lighting here somehow. Somewhere. Maybe that'll do it. So as I was saying, even so, I still don't have good lighting. There's always a position, you just gotta find it. Just gotta find it. Okay, that might do it. Maybe. Okay, so yeah, what we got. I see it. Just get the camera on here so we can see it. Okay, now we're in the way here. Okay, so this thing right here, that nut is on a stud. That stud comes up through here. It's attached to the ball joint, which is this piece right. This is the rubber goes around and holds grease, but the ball joint actually comes up through the bottom. That's this unit right here. This comes up through the bottom. It has a stud on it, and that stud attaches into the this assembly right here. I'm trying to think what we call this. steering knuckle, I guess. Goes into the steering knuckle right there, and is tied in with a nut on top. So we got to take that nut off in order to get that ball joint out. But first, let's take a step back here and move our light and explain a couple of things. We've got what's known as a coil spring. And that's this big coil spring you see right here. This is a heavy duty spring. That's your suspension, part of your suspension. The other part is your shock or strut, which is this long tube that runs up and down here. And it's basically a hydraulic cylinder that dampens the impact as you hit a bump. The spring helps to dampen it, but also the shock helps to dampen it as well. So we also have here, this is known as the sway bar. And this is known as the sway bar link. It goes down, attaches to the control arm assembly down here. You probably can't see my finger there, I'm trying to point at it. So this is the control arm assembly at the bottom, right here. The ball joint hooks into that, your coil spring hooks into that, sway bar link hooks into that. Now this sway bar is for absorbing torsional pressures when you go around a turn. Your car wants to lean heavy to one side or the other depending on which way you're turning. Turning left, it's gonna, front end wants to come up, and I'm sorry, if you're turning left, your left side wants to go down, and your right side wants to come up. Well, this bar runs across to the other side, attaches to the control arm on the other side, and as you can see, this is a solid bar, very heavy, very strong. It will twist. It is made in such a way with a temper that it will twist. The other side can come up while this can go down. So that, but I mean, it takes a lot of force to do that. So that helps to eliminate sway. That's why they call it sway bar. So when you turn your wheels, you're going at a specific speed or whatever, and you turn your wheel hard to the left or hard to the right or quickly, this absorbs the tendency for the vehicle to want to dip from one side to the other or sway. It's a sway bar. Here you have a, it's a little hard to see, another steering component. It's another ball type joint right here. It's connected to the steering knuckle, and when you turn your steering wheel, this will move left and right, and that moves your steering knuckle, which is pivoted on the ball joint down there, and pivot at the top by your where it bolts on here with the strut. So this is a this only has I'm going to say it only has one ball joint, but I don't want to lie to you. Some cars do, some cars don't. I don't think I can turn that. I think it's locked. Yeah, in this case, this one only has one ball joint. So, because it has McPherson struts. McPherson strut. This will turn at the top the same way the ball joint would. So this has some bearings and stuff up the top here. I'm gonna get the camera here so you can see, guys. I know I'm not showing you much right now. Hold on. So, yeah. So the strut allows for one ball joint on the bottom, as I pointed out, and this is attached to the steering knuckle. This piece is attached to the top part of the steering knuckle, and it has a bearing up top, allows it to swivel. So that allows the steering knuckle to turn, which in turn allows your wheel to turn, because your wheels are bolted right on to your steering knuckle pretty tight. So this is, like I said, over here. Like I said, this is the tie rod end. There's a pretty good view of it right there, I guess. See, that's your tie rod in right there, hooks to the knuckle. It's also got a ball joint. It's almost the same as what goes in, only smaller. What goes in the bottom down here that we're going to take out. But this one should be okay. I've replaced that a few times. I think it's fairly good right now. It's got a nut on the top, same as the other one does, to hold it in place. And it also attaches on the inside. It attaches on the inside to your... It goes all the way in there and attaches to your rack and pinion steering. So when you turn your steering wheel, that rack and pinion will move this, this piece right here this way. It'll go in or out, and that's what turns the steering knuckle. But what we want to do is we want to take the ball joint out, which is on the bottom, which is down here, right there. We're going to take this guy out and put a new one in. So I'm going to show you what the new one looks like, just so it gives you a better idea. Take that right out of the box. Show you what it looks like. Now, there's always the possibility when you get this stuff. You get a wrong part. Sometimes the part guy makes a mistake. We're hoping, but that's not the case. I'm gonna sit my butt down here. A little more comfortable if I can get myself sitting down. Ah. Alright. So, let's take a look at the ball joint here. What does it look like? It looks like it's a plastic bag. So let's just, you gotta be careful when you take out a plastic bag because there's a few other parts in there. You have a, which I'll show you once I open it up. First off, reach in the plastic bag and pull out the plastic bag because it's got a few parts you need. Now we'll take out the ball joint. Alright. So here's the ball joint. Now, we'll get a closer look up at the ball joint. Closer look here. I'll bring it right over here and show you what it consists of. Alright, first off, there's a nut on top. Let's take that right off. Okay. Take that right off. Now, there's the threaded shaft that goes through the steering knuckle. This is the dust boot. It keeps you from getting any grease and stuff down inside. Or sorry, any dust or anything down inside because it's greased in the middle there. Like that ball's all greased up. We don't want to get any dirt in there. Minimal amounts of dirt at least. And as you can see, this shaft is tapered. So that fits through the spindle, or I'm sorry, the steering knuckle, which is also tapered. Precision fit. That'll slide up in. Put the nut on. Tighten it down. And in this bag you have a cotter pin, which you probably won't be able to see real good. I'll show you that afterwards. Cotter pin, and there's a little piece in there known as grease nipple. Grease nipple screws in here so that you can use a grease gun to add grease after periodically you can add grease, because after a while some of this grease does go away. It works its way out. You want to fill it, you need a place to fill it, so grease nipple goes in the bottom here. So that's the ball joint, what it looks like. Now we're hoping that's the right one for the vehicle, because once I take the old one out, it's probably going to be damaged to the point where I won't put it back in again. A lot of times when they're going bad and you take them out, they'll fall apart, which means you can't put it back in again. So yeah, I'm going to take these guys out of the bag here so I can show you. I'll just make sure I set them aside when I'm not going to lose them. So this is the grease nipple. It's just a little device that basically threads in to the bottom of the ball joint, and it's designed in such a way that you can hook a grease gun on it, give a couple squirts of grease into the ball joint for longevity. This is a cotter pin. Cotter pin just keeps the nut from backing off. Sometimes they can back off even though you tighten them up. Now the cotter pin spreads. Once you shove the cotter pin through the hole, you spread it out so that it can't go back the other way. That helps to hold it in place. And just so I don't lose it for now, I'll stick it into the ball joint for safekeeping. I'll just in the ball joint and that stud, there's a hole specifically designed for the cotter pin. And the cotter pin goes right in that hole right there, as you can see, right? So now it'll pull out easily, but if I were to spread this apart on this side, it wouldn't be able to come out, right? And that's what you do once you put it together. So this is usually not in the way. You don't usually put this in until after the ball joint's in place, because a lot of times you have to tap this a little bit with a hammer or put a tool on here, and you could damage this if it's already in the hole. So I'm just going to stick it in there so I don't lose it. Finger tight. Now I know where it is. So where we are now, disassembly. Show you what we got to do to get that old ball joint out. If I can get my ass back off the floor here. That's the problem when you get out of shape. Sometimes it's hard to move around when you're on your ass. Better on the knees, but that gets hard on the back. Alright. So here we are. So let's just take a quick overview of what I got to do to get that ball joint out. I want to turn this wheel one way or the other so that I can get at, see things better. Not sure which way I'm going to turn it yet, but this piece is going to be turned right or left to give me some better room. And the way to decide which way I'm going to go is I look and see, well, there's no cotter pin. That has a lock nut on it right now, so I don't have to worry about pulling the cotter pin out. I'm going to end up moving that one way or the other anyway as I go, because there's nuts on the front that's going to come off and nuts on the back. And I just noticed right now I don't know how this happened because I'm usually really careful about making sure things are locked down, can't come off. We've lost a nut. I don't know if I've got one that fits that or not, but we've lost a nut right there. You guys could probably see that. We've got a nut right there, and down below it, a stud that's missing a nut. It's SOB. Right there. Well, I don't know. I saw a nut lying on the floor earlier, and I don't think it's off this car because it's copper and new, but I wonder if I'm lucky enough that this little fella right here, oh, excuse me, this little fella right here would be the right size to fit. If it was, that would be fantastic, but I doubt it. It looks small. Yeah, it's small. Excuse me, guys. So I'm going to have to find a nut that's going to fit that. I've been driving all along with it. That nut hasn't seemed to cause any problem, at least I don't think, unless that's why we have some slop in the steering. Maybe it's not the ball joint at all. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that motherfucker moving around. We'll take a look over on this side. See if we can see any signs of anything having moved, because that is a possibility. She looks pretty tight there. I don't think that's done anything there. I think that the top one's tight now if it's holding it. But I'm still going to try to find a nut to put on her. Meantime, that ball joint's got to come out. Okay, so what we got to do to get the ball joint out, let's continue on, is we've got to remove, just to make it easier to work with, we've got to move, we've got to disconnect the tie rod. That'll be the first step. So that means pulling up the cotter pin on top. Pretty sure there's a cotter pin right there. Keeping it, we're going to put that back in. Taking that nut off the top there, and then dropping this so it's out of the way. So I'm going to show you how that's done right now. First and foremost, get this light up here out of the way somewhere. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I know it's not good. Not good at all. Since I've got to reposition every time I want to do something. Alright. So, right here, you'll see the cotter pin. That's this metal piece right here. I gotta bend that out. This is where your needle nose pliers comes in handy. You hook these guys right on there, and you just bend that little mother, because that's got to come out of there. Okay? So we basically straighten it out again is what we got to do. Straighten it right out. It's still going to be hard to get it out of there because of the fact that that's turned in such a way, but